Hi everyone, it's Heather Lisle. This week's rendition of the blog is, when's the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror? Now, if you're like me, I just looked at myself in the mirror before I pressed record on this video. So I do it probably quite often as well too. In fact, funny enough, I was reading an article in the Sun. It's a British online newspaper, and it was talking about how the average amount of time that people across the world spend in front of a mirror. And in the United States, women spend an average of 6.2 hours in front of the mirror, and men spend an average of 4.3 hours in front of the mirror every week. That's a lot of time, y'all. And just total side note, but Italians spend the most of the time in front of a mirror, both men and women. So I thought that was really interesting and funny too, for that matter. But anyway, nonetheless, it's like if we're spending 6.2 and 4.3 hours in front of a mirror, just judging ourselves physically, how much time do we spend looking at ourselves introspectively in that mirror as well too? And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So I want to talk about that mirror of self-assessment, and you know what I mean. It can be ugly sometimes, as we all very well know. But you got to look frequently in front of that mirror in order to grow, right? In other words, just how can you improve? I think I'm one of those types of people who is pretty much in a state of self-assessment, probably to a fault. I don't know. I feel like I'm probably super critical on myself. After a meeting with somebody, I'll think to myself as I'm walking back to my office, did I approach things the right way? Did I say things the right way? Did I offend anybody? If I've had a hard conversation with a colleague, I think to myself, could I have said that better? Was I kind? Was I careful in my words? Did I achieve what I needed to achieve? When I'm dealing with the kids, you know how the kids are. Kids can be crazy and push every button that you have. But at the end of the day, you gotta be mindful about your words with your kids too. And, especially if you're having to discipline them, was I too hard on them? I'm sure you all have thought those very same things as well too. So you get the gist of what it is that I'm trying to say. But here's the deal. If we're not working to become a better human, then what are we doing? As an adult, I find that I question myself on a lot of things, it seems like, and I just alluded to a few earlier. It's not that I'm not ever satisfied or anything, but I do think that questioning yourself regularly about how you approach things and how you're talking to people helps you refine and get a better understanding and clarity of what it is that you're trying to do, whether it's a project with that person or trying to work with that person or work with your kids or your spouse or whatever like that. But asking questions leads to clarity and understanding as well. So I try to take a few minutes every day, and sometimes it's just in the heat of the moment, after you've left a meeting or after you've had a conversation with someone, you think to yourself, did I make good use of that meeting? Did I make good use of that time with that person? Did I make good use of my day in general? If not, why? What could have been better about that? Did I prioritize all the things that I needed to accomplish? And if I didn't, prioritize well, then what prevented me from doing so? Number 3, did I really focus today, or was I distracted? You all know we have so many distractions in our day, whether that be family or a fire happening at work, theoretically speaking, or social media or whatnot. We all find ourselves distracted, and sometimes that can take away from progress throughout the day too. So just get real with yourself about what was a distraction. And fourth, and probably this should have been the first thing, but did I treat others as I wanted to be treated myself? We all get busy, and I know that golden rule often gets overlooked sometimes, but it can sometimes be the easiest, simplest thing that you can do in order to have a good outcome for whatever it is that you're doing. But you got to get real here, and you got to be tough on yourself, and you've got to be honest with yourself when you're answering those questions on a regular, consistent basis. So, because if you're not, you can't improve. I love the quote from Carol Dweck: "Becoming is better than being." And, it's not at all about achieving perfection, but it's just that growth each and every day and the learning opportunities that come from that as well too. So, it's about learning who you are and the growth within that leads us to better outcomes and frankly just peace of mind on a daily basis as well. So anyway, that's the news for today. Thanks so much for joining me and subscribing and hearing what I have to say. I'm so honored, and I look forward to talking with you next week. All right, thanks. Have a great week. Bye.